First at 4, the most intense part of our heat wave is arriving, and we have excessive heat watches that have been posted. We'll tell you what that means coming up. Karen?
All right, Ben, also first at 4, the state of Michigan is taking the Trump administration to court over school funding, what it means to our students. Good afternoon, Paula.
Hey, Karen. So it's commonly called the puppy killer virus, and it is on the rise exponentially in Michigan, partially because of COVID, and I'll explain why. These stories and more are happening right now on Local 4 First at 4.
Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Good afternoon, I'm Karen Drew. First at 4, Governor Whitmer is keeping a close eye on the coronavirus numbers at this hour, and she says she's not afraid to pull back on reopening the state. Today's numbers just arrived, with the state reporting 465 new confirmed cases in just the past 24 hours. Plus 30 additional deaths. 20 of those deaths are the result of a vital records review, but the total has now climbed over 6,000. Today, Governor Whitmer told CNN she's ready to take the heat if she has to start closing things down again, but she won't let the state backslide. In the past hour, the focus has shifted to the future of our schools, from Lansing to Washington, D.C. President Trump just spoke about his desire to make sure schools across America can reopen in the fall. In Lansing, Attorney General Dana Nessel announced a lawsuit targeting Education Secretary Betsy DeVos's plans for school funding that would impact us here in Michigan. Kimberly Gill with that part of the story live in our newsroom. Kim.
Good afternoon, Karen. The Attorney General and Governor Whitmer announced that Michigan is joining a coalition of states in legal action against the Education Secretary. It's complicated, but it has to do with the CARES Act funding for public and private schools. So the CARES Act provides $13.5 billion for K through 12 schools across America as part of coronavirus relief. The legislation targeted more money for poor children in public schools, but Education Secretary Betsy DeVos changed that formula, which would reroute more money to private schools instead. So here in Michigan, that change could mean private schools get $21.6 million instead of the $5.1 million mapped out in the CARES Act. Governor Whitmer supports Nessel's fight.
CARES Act dollars are designed to provide support to schools in low-income areas. But Betsy DeVos and the Trump administration have a different plan. Under their new rule, private schools in affluent districts may receive services that Congress intended for disadvantaged students. This isn't how it should work.
The Attorney General says she expects the coalition of states will ask for a preliminary injunction in the next couple of weeks. Karen, we will, of course, keep you posted. For now, we'll send it back to you in the newsroom.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Also breaking right now, President Trump formally pushing for students to get back to class this fall. He tweeted that message last night and just spoke at a White House roundtable with leaders and experts.
We hope that most schools are going to be open. We don't want people to make political statements or do it for political reasons. They think it's going to be good for them politically, so they keep the schools closed. No way. So we're very much going to put pressure on governors and everybody else to open the schools, to get them open.
The president enlisted the help of First Lady Melania Trump in the effort, as she promised to help the effort. We'll have more from the roundtable tonight at 5. Now let's take a look outside. We are sweltering through another 90-degree day. We are up to 6 in a row. City of Detroit has opened cooling centers. Ben Bailey tracking a heat advisory and also a storm potential. Hey there, Ben.
Yeah, Karen, we've got a couple of those storms ongoing right now, but the heat is on everybody's mind. There's an heat advisory that's in effect until 8 a.m., and that's for most of us tonight through tomorrow morning. But excessive heat watches kick in tomorrow, and they run through Thursday, and that's for most of southeast Michigan as the temperatures inch up, but the humidity starts climbing as well, and that's going to put heat index readings into the triple digits in some spots. Air quality alerts have been extended into tomorrow as that ground level ozone still causing breathing problems for some folks. Current temperatures 93 at Metro, but you can see where the rain has cooled things down in the north zone. Coming up, we'll look at Storm Tracker 4 and see where those storms are and how many more we can expect as that mercury climbs in the next few days. Karen?
All right. Thank you, Ben. A disturbing discovery over in Trenton is turned now into a really big mystery with a few twists and turns. It started last night when new homeowners found that what seems to be a human skull in the fire pit on the 5500 block of Wilson. An anthropologist is working to confirm the remains are human. Meantime, investigators say the home's previous owner died in a shootout with police in Tennessee last month, and a search is underway for a woman who was living with that homeowner here in Michigan. We do have a crew tracking the investigation. Make sure to stay tuned for our next report tonight at 5. The attorney for the family of a Kalamazoo teenager says new video captures his horrific death inside of a youth center. It was back in April. 16-year-old Cornelius Fredericks was held down by staff at the Lakeside for Children Youth Facility. As many as 8 people are seen holding down that teen after he threw a sandwich. Fredericks went into cardiac arrest and died 2 days later. Attorney Jeffrey Feiger says portions of the video are missing, and he believes the staff's behavior is in part of the culture that has been allowed.
One employee told us that in order to work there, all you needed was to be breathing and accept $13 per hour in pay. Other than that, they would hire anyone. And the mechanism for dealing with children in this facility was abuse and fear.
3 staff members face criminal charges, including involuntary manslaughter. The owner of the facility, Sequel Youth Service, says all staff members involved have been fired, and the actions in the video do not meet its policies and procedures. Everyone is looking to stay safe from coronavirus. You may have seen a safety chart circulated on social media from the Texas Medical Association, and it ranked the risk level of different activities. Dr. Frank McGeorge joins us now to explain how this can be a helpful guide, but also what the limitations are.
The risk of spreading any infectious disease depends on a number of different factors that essentially boil down to the dose of infectious material a person is exposed to. Now, in the case of COVID-19, things like the length of time that you're near an infected person, how much virus they're excreting, and how much airflow there is to carry infected droplets and aerosols away are all important in ranking your risk.
Let's consider the risk of playing golf or basketball. According to the Texas Medical Association's chart, golf is less risky. This chart was created based on input from Texas physicians who are members of their coronavirus task force. There isn't an exact formula to the rankings, but they are based on what we know about the virus and common sense. Comparing golf and basketball, golf doesn't require close contact. It's an outdoor activity. You can easily wear a face covering, and golfers aren't usually breathing heavily enough to generate infectious aerosols. Basketball, in contrast, is largely the opposite.
Now, the rankings assume participants take as many precautions as they can. That's important because the risks change when people aren't careful. For example, they rank libraries and museums as being safer than hair salons and barbershops. But if you and your barber are both wearing a mask in a well-ventilated area, it might turn out to be safer than going to a poorly ventilated museum and standing right next to a stranger that's not wearing a mask. Back to you.
All right, Doc, and don't forget we have an entire page dedicated to coronavirus information at clickondetroit.com. It includes the daily numbers and in-depth breakdowns by demographics and geography. Check out that on clickondetroit.com. We've seen several ripple effects from the COVID pandemic, and now the health of our pets could be suffering as more owners aren't keeping up with their pet vaccinations. Veterinarians tell us they're seeing a spike in an illness that can be deadly. Paula Tutman joins us this afternoon with a warning for pet owners, and she's got a special guest with her. Hey, Paula.
Karen, any opportunity to show my incredibly old beast, Kaiser, who probably goes to the vets 4 times more than anybody in the household gets to the doctors. We're all navigating our COVID normal and what's important and what has to get done. But here's the thing with pets, because they're a little further down the list for a lot of people, it's gotten very, very dangerous.
Let's go play.
On a hot summer day, you can still find dog owners at play with their best friends. CW and Sadie are getting exercise at a private dog park. You can actually only get in with a fob and if your dogs are vaccinated.
I think most people that have dogs are responsible owners, so I would hope that they're actually getting the proper shots when needed.
But a large veterinarian chain is sounding a warning bell. Blue Pearl, which has 90 pet hospitals in 26 states, including Michigan, is noticing a dangerous trend. A dangerous rise in parvo cases.
We found a really disturbing data trend where we're seeing about 70% more parvovirus cases this year than we did last year at the exact same time, which is a tremendous increase in case number.
parvo is an insidious virus for puppies.
The area of concern are puppies between about 6 weeks old and 6 months old. One of the main problems with parvo is that it lives a very long time in the environment. So we're talking months to years, and it's very difficult to get rid of. Not every cleaner is going to get rid of parvo. It's really going to be a bleach that's necessary. So it can live outside at parks. It can live on the floor in people's houses or in a pet store or in a clinic for a very long time.
And as people make choices of where and where not to go, and while some humans are dangerously staying home from their own routine medical care for fear of COVID exposures, many pet-owning humans are also staying away from routine medical care and vaccinations for their pets. And that means parvo is on the rise.
Parvovirus, again, it's not contagious to people. But puppies should be receiving regular rabies vaccines as well. So we want to make sure that those are still happening, because that does potentially play a role in human health as well. And we don't want that to sort of, we don't want to see an outbreak of rabies cases, obviously.
Yeah, these vaccinations for pets are very, very important. Parvo is called the puppy killer virus because it basically dehydrates puppies to death, but it can also affect older dogs, compromised dogs, and any dogs that aren't vaccinated. So we talked about 70% at that hospital. In Michigan, the number is a 54% rise. We've got to get our animals vaccinated, Karen.
So very important. We appreciate the warning, Paula. We'll give you and your pup a break, even though I think he's already taken a break. He's a cutie. Thank you.
Yeah, he's old.
He's perfect. All right, still ahead. Here first at 4, a world leader who often refused to wear a face mask in large crowds just received his latest coronavirus test results. Also, an American celebrity in a London courtroom. Why a battle with his ex-wife now involves a British tabloid. First, a second chance for stimulus money. Why more than 700,000 Americans better pay close attention to their mailbox. I'll explain next.